Welcome to another episode of a Cozy Christmas podcast. I'm your host, Art, and you guys, Christmas is just a few days away. I'm so excited to be able to spend Christmas with my family this year, that we're all doing well and healthy, and I hope the same is true for you too. I want to say thank you to all those who have reached out to me and wished me the best, and it has meant the world to me, and I am so grateful for your participation. Today we're going to carry on the theme of music from yesterday's episode, so consider this another two-part episode. Yesterday I had Scott Newman on, and we picked out some cozy Christmas music for you all to enjoy, and I hope we're able to find some good songs there and to support those artists who are putting out such great Christmas content. What I think is neat about music is that music tells a story, whether it's in the instrument side of things or in the lyrics, in the life of the musician. It's a way for us to express our story. And I have two guests on today that I think you'll find really interesting and whose musical styles are probably not that similar. My first guest, I talked to a very talented young man. His name is Lucas, and he writes music. He plays music, he sings music, and he put together a Christmas album this year. I was able to interview him, and I think you'll enjoy it. And I just want to encourage any young people listening today that if you have a passion, if you have a dream, to go after it, to learn, to teach yourself if you have to, but pursue that dream. Lucas has got I think a good career ahead of him, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do in the years to come. So here we talk a little bit about his music, how he came to write it, put it together, and just a few things about Christmas. He did this all at the age of 17 years old. Let's head over and pay Lucas a visit. Today on our podcast, I have a special guest with us, Lucas Morgan. He's a 17-year-old high school student. I hear adults all the time saying, "Kids today, what are they going to be up to? What are they going to accomplish with their life?" Well, Lucas, I think, is setting out to prove them wrong, and he has put out a Christmas album. Lucas, welcome to the Cozy Christmas podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh yeah, it's like I was telling Lucas before we started that my son, he's about the same age as Lucas here and is into music as well. And I think it's really neat just to have young people interested in such a creative outlet and having such passion about it that, Lucas, you just went out and made your own album, it looks like.
Yeah, I did. And I it's really happening more and more with this new generation creating art and creating music. I think technology has a lot of ups and downs, but I for sure think one of the huge positives is it's giving a lot of opportunities for young people to create and get their passion out there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Like, I guess tell folks a little bit about who you are and how you came up with this album and put it together.
All right. Well, I'm a 17-year-old singer-songwriter. I have been singing for about 5 years and about writing for about the same amount of time, but I would just, I was like kind of being a recluse about it. I would just like hide in my room, and like I didn't really want to share any of my music because I was waiting to make it perfect. And then one day I just decided to finally take that first step, and so now I can't stop, and I just want to keep releasing stuff. But yeah, it's been really fun and really just like creatively fueling, and I'm just right now I'm in a really good place for my music.
Yeah, awesome. So how did you put it all together? Did you use your computer, or was it did you actually get an orchestra together, or how did that all fall together?
Actually, there's a song I did just before I started the album that was almost served as a tester for the album, because I brought in like orchestra players and like brass players. but it was a rock song. I just wanted to combine like a bunch of different sounds. But I figured because I was so new to this, after the experience of working with those brass players, I was like, maybe I shouldn't like hire like 30
Yeah.
people and like, so I just, no, I did do it all on my computer, and I just tried to replicate the sound as much as possible with production and, different
Hmm.
plugins and stuff. It's all technology.
I mean, I can remember, when I was your age, and the computer music was awful. you know,
Yeah.
uh, unless you like that kind of eight bit
Yeah.
sound. Yeah, well, and like I was saying, my son is kind of has that same interest, and
Mhm.
he I don't know all that he has. I'm not a computer guy, but
Mhm.
go into his room, he's got like two computer screens, a little keyboard hooked up to his
Uh,
computer, like a piano keyboard, and
yeah.
yeah, he can do all this stuff that and then he, like you said, he's buying plugins and getting things
Mhm.
in to replicate that authentic sound.
Yeah.
And so then he does some of the music on my podcast,
Awesome.
and I can't, I'm like, this sounds real. Where did you
I
how did you
know.
do that? Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how
Yeah.
much you can kind of fool people.
Yeah. Yeah. And and it doesn't have that perfect computer sound. You can tell
Yeah.
it was played, and it sounds about as close to authentic as you can get. And
Mhm.
I suppose with this year, I guess more than ever before, it's probably good that we can create music safely without bringing people in
Yeah,
together and passing all the germs around. So
exactly. A lot of kind of artistic departments have taken a huge hit
hmm.
this year, but it's so amazing that music is something that can still be made and put out for to make people happier.
Yeah, I mean, I love music. I'm
Mhm.
not necessarily a musician, but I enjoy it, and
Mhm.
I love, my Christmas playlist is just crazy long. I don't even think I've gotten all the way through it this year. It's it's I keep adding to it. But it's I mean, it brings, just to be able to create something, and to do something, it just
Mhm.
brings joy to the performer, I think, as well as to people listening, and they pick
Yeah.
up on that.
I think anybody can feel passion for something when they're listening to it.
And so your album is called Get Your Christmas On,
Yes.
and has a lot of your favorite Christmas
Mhm.
covers, as well as an original song that you wrote.
That's
I,
right.
I believe it was the last one, that in the title of the album, Get
Yes.
Your Christmas On. So what was your inspiration for this album?
It wasn't a very profound inspiration, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've always loved Christmas, and especially Christmas music. I love how the sound of Christmas music is sort of synonymous with standards and jazz and Frank Sinatra and all that, because I listen to that stuff year long.
Hmm.
I was with my girlfriend, and we were listening to Christmas music, and that a song that's on the album, "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch," came
Hmm.
on, and she was like, "Oh, you should make something like this." And any musician will take that as the ultimate challenge to their ability.
Yeah.
So as soon as I went home, I started working on it. I tried to make something similar, and then I thought, why don't I just recreate that, like make my own version of that song. So then I started, and then that night I had a version of "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch," which is my favorite instrumental on the album. So that's kind of what kicked me off, and then I was like, well, what if I tried my own version of this song or this song, and then
Yeah.
just built from there. And then I just did there's not a single song on there that wasn't like, that was just like, oh, I should do this because it's like a Christmas song that you should put on. Every single one was like, oh, I gotta have my own I gotta like try my own version of this or this. So it was a very quick but like very passionate project.
Mm. Yeah, and like the sound, it's like a, I don't know, 1960s vibe,
Mhm.
with the jazz, the big band
Yeah,
sound.
exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, he has a nice, deep, rich voice, that, you said you've been singing only or you got involved in singing for 5 years,
Yeah.
like 5 years ago. Did you do any singing before that at all, or?
None at all. The first time I ever sang was in seventh grade,
Hmm.
when I was cast in like my musical. That's how I kind of got. I'd always been involved in art in some way, whether it was drawing or like writing, but more the performing aspect was in seventh grade. I got casted as the lead in our musical. And so I just had to try to sing, and then I've just been singing since then.
Cool. Yeah. It's funny. I mean, how, your, I guess your journey and my son's are very similar. He got into, it was high school for him, and
Mhm.
we knew he had a good voice, but
Mhm.
he'd be very shy about it, and he probably doesn't want me telling that story, but 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 yeah, he got convinced to try out for the school musical, and he got a significant role in it, and we're like, musical, you do know you'll have to sing, right, in public, and
Yeah.
and but yeah, then he starts singing, and we're like, oh my goodness, he's really good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So yeah, kudos to the schools getting kids involved in music and
Sure.
encouraging that talent.
For sure.
But yeah, on your album, like I said, you've got Get Your Christmas On is
Mhm.
the song you wrote. It's just a fun song. I love, I mean, I love Christmas, obviously. I got a podcast about it. So but I love the songs that try to get the listener, excited, that
Mhm.
Christmas is here and it's time to
Mhm.
get going. And I was just re-listening to it again this morning, and been working on some Christmas projects for my kids, and just painting ornaments for them. But I'm
Oh,
sitting there just listening and bopping my
yeah.
head and painting away and having a good time this morning. So,
That's amazing.
but then you have some other, I mean, just classics like Sleigh Ride,
Mhm.
the Christmas song. You have a couple of people that join you on some duets,
Yes.
uh, like Santa Baby,
Mhm.
is typically sung by a woman. I guess unless you're Michael Bublé.
Stand up, buddy.
Yeah. No, I love that version because it's so corny that he sings it. But
Yeah.
my wife says, like, oh, I hate this song. Why are you playing that?
Me and my brothers play it and laugh all the time.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh man, I don't know if this works, bud. But yeah, that's a really good version there. Let's see, and you have Alexa Parvana.
Perfect.
Yeah. And now, so some of these collaborators you're singing with, who are they? Are they just kids from your high school, or?
Yeah. So Alexa is just a old friend of mine
Mhm.
who she actually, it's funny. I didn't even think about this, but she was the female lead aside me in that first musical in seventh grade.
Sure.
Um, and I just didn't even think of it because we've been friends for so long. But yeah, we are through high school. We were in all the productions together, and we were just good friends. She just I've always been so amazed by her voice. She has such an older, classic, like golden sound.
Mhm.
Um, so I knew I had to get her on the album, and she loves jazz like me. So,
Yeah.
um, and then McKenna Malkin is my girlfriend,
Okay.
and I just absolutely love her voice, and she's essentially what inspired the whole project. So I knew I wanted her to sing on it for sure.
Yeah. And I could tell you guys had a lot of fun with that
Mhm.
song.
Yeah.
It really comes through.
So,
And I was gonna say that's a brave choice these days. I know that song hasn't been very popular with folks, but
yeah.
you guys make it work.
Thank you. I did want I wanted to stay faithful to all the classics that we did,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, it's just sweet Christmas music.
Hmm.
You know? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Usually I talk to people who are established in their career and have put out some kind of
Mhm.
Christmas content, but you're just starting. So what's, I guess, your future plans that you hope to do after high school?
Well, I'm going through the arduous college application process right now.
Yep.
um, yeah, so I kind of sort of have a different outlook on it than a lot of my peers do. I'm just sort of applying, and then if I get in anywhere, great, then I'll probably go there. And if I don't, then that's fine, and I'll go to a community college and transfer. I'm not putting too much stress on myself. I'm like giving it my best shot, and then whatever happens, happens. But yeah, I'd like to go to a college after high school and keep work. I'm applying for music majors, and
Hmm.
so I'd like to continue with that path. And as for my music, I'm planning more. I'm planning a lot of releases and just like talking with people who I might be working with, and I'm just excited for a lot of upcoming projects. But what I do want to do is I want to make a Christmas album next year too, and just whenever there's a new batch of songs that I really want to put out a version of, I think I'll maybe put out a Christmas album whenever.
So you're looking at having a career in as a singer, songwriter, or just something in the music field.
Yeah, something in music. I'm
Yeah.
also incredibly passionate about composing scores for like films and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm working really hard, so I'm hoping that I can create a foundation for some sort of career in music.
Do you have a favorite film composer?
I love, of course, John Williams. I'm incredibly inspired by him,
Sure.
and I love Danny Elfman, especially because he started as a rock singer, and I love
Yeah.
rock too. And then hearing him go into these grand like film, it's really great. Hans Zimmer, there's
Yeah.
Michael Giacchino, just all like the like titans of scores right now.
Sure.
No,
Sure.
um,
Yeah. Nothing out of left field, but I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
to be fair, those guys are giants and geniuses
Oh
for a
yeah,
reason. Yeah. I mean,
sure. Yeah.
those are probably all of our favorite composers too. Well, and then I guess trying to keep it Christmas related. I mean, John Williams has a beautiful score for Home Alone.
Yes.
Danny Elfman did Nightmare Before Christmas, which,
Mhm.
there's the debate. Is that a Halloween
The
movie or a
whole
Christmas movie or what? Yeah. It's both. It's fine.
both.
That film especially has incredible music in it.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the films that when I hear the music, I wish I understood music, because I feel like he's doing something really genius with it,
Yeah,
and I wish I knew what it was.
that's the kind of I'll listen to a score like that, and then when I hear something I like, I'll try to learn like what is the because I've never studied music theory or anything like that. I'm
Mhm.
really like self-taught in everything I do. So the way I go is when I hear something I like, I'll try to learn what the technical term is for that or how to like write that in sheet music. So
Mhm.
I've like dissected that score specifically for Nightmare Before Christmas, and just really tried to learn about all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, I usually I'm lazy and I just ask my son, "Hey, what's going on here? Why does this sound so awesome?" And he'll rattle off an explanation, and I'm like,
Uh,
"Okay, I don't understand that,
like,
but I'm happy for
sure,
you."
okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
yeah. Well, as we're getting close to Christmas time here, do you have special Christmas memories or traditions that have meant a lot to you?
Every year, my family makes these cookies called holly cookies,
Hmm.
which are just like cornflakes and marshmallows made to look like wreaths. And we make those every year, ever since I can remember. So that's like kind of been the main tradition I can think of. We just do the normal things, presents on Christmas morning and like
Hmm.
but there was one year I remember when I was really young, which I later learned is my aunt, but we heard like footsteps on our roof, and then our parents woke us up and they're like, "Oh, Santa's reindeer are on the roof." And then
Yeah.
we all went out to the backyard, and it was my aunt dressed as Santa, and we all freaked out. We're like Santa, and then and then we all he ran away, and then we didn't question the sound of like a car driving away a couple seconds later.
Yeah, yeah. Santa got in a car and drove off. He stole my aunt's car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'll always remember that because of course I went to school and I was like, I really saw Santa.
Yeah. We had our grandpa who would do that.
Mhm.
And I know I think I feel like I'm telling the same story every interview, but this isn't a an integral part of my childhood. But we'd go see grandma and grandpa, and my grandpa had big white beard
Mhm.
in the belly, and he looked like Santa.
Mhm.
So at some point while we were there, he would sneak off to his bedroom, get dressed as Santa, and then come out,
Mhm.
and we'd sit on his lap, and we it was fun. And then he
Yeah.
run back off to the bedroom, and we could hear him. We knew it was Grandpa, and then we'd tease Grandpa later and be like, "You missed Santa. Where were you? He was just here." Well, I had to take a nap. Yeah. Yeah. Those are fun when parents can, keep that magic alive for a while.
Okay.
It's good. And
It's the sort of thing you never forget.
oh yeah. I mean, I've forgotten a lot, but once you get old and bitter like me, but I mean, that's some of my clearest memories from childhood is the fun we had at Christmas time, and with my grandparents and all that. It was really profound moments. So yeah, so you have a lot to look forward to as you get older. There's a thing you might see on social media about the different stages of life you go through, that you believe in Santa, you pretend to be Santa, you look like Santa, I'm getting closer to that third stage there. So Lucas, where can people find your album right now? I know it's on YouTube, but
it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora. I think they have
cool.
Yeah, I think they have sounds for it on TikTok.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I don't even have TikTok, so I don't know that world at all.
Right, yeah.
But it's on there. Yeah, I believe it's on. It should be on every digital streaming platform.
So it's Get Your Christmas On by Lucas Morgan, and if you search for that, I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere. And I'll put links in the show notes for folks too. They can just click and find you easy. Well, anything else you want to promote or direct people to?
Just listen to the album if you want. Maybe put it in your playlists and just listen to it. It's great music for setting up a tree or wrapping presents. It's been amazing how many people have told me that their families and extended families have been listening, just doing their own Christmas traditions. So it would be really special if that became part of yours. Listen to the album if you like, and look out for new music coming soon.
Awesome. Yeah, if you put out another Christmas album, let me know. We'll have you back on. So
yeah, thank you so much.
You bet. And best of luck to you. You're just starting off. I hope you can accomplish the dreams you have, and we'll hear more of you here in the future. So
thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, Lucas, thanks for stopping by in the podcast, and I can't believe it. I kept it under half an hour. This is a record for me. So, all right. Well, you have a Merry Christmas and the best to you and your family.
All right. Thank you. You too.
You bet. Jake, all of us here at the Cozy Christmas podcast are rooting for you as you finish out your school year. I hope that you keep creating music and doing what you love. My next guest took that passion and love that he had in high school and has turned it into a career. We're going to talk with Jake from the Chardon Polka Band. Jake had reached out to me and let me take a listen to his album. It's just a fun Christmas album, but they play with passion, with skill. You can tell that they have the love of music and the love of polka, the love of Christmas. It's really a fun album. If you want some great music to dance around the kitchen to while you're up late baking pumpkin chocolate chip muffins for your daughter's teacher the next day because the cookies you tried to cook for her teacher earlier that day accidentally burned, and then life got busy and you didn't have time to start cooking until 10 o'clock at night when everyone was in bed, for instance, not to be too specific on any particular person or anything. But if you find yourself in that position, this album is a great album to get you through late night panic cookings. All right, let's take a listen to my interview with Jake in the Chardon Polka Band. I have the opportunity today to interview Jake from the Chardon Polka Band. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did on the first try.
Nice.
I was like, oh, we're going to have to start over. Yeah.
Nope. One and done. That's me.
I hear
you. No, but yeah, Jake here is from the Chardon Polka Band, and he's got a new Christmas album out. called, I mean, what else would you call it? A very polka Christmas. Jake, thanks for reaching out and welcome to a Cozy Christmas podcast.
Hey, I feel cozy. Thank you for having me, Art.
Yeah, he's got his Christmas sweater on and ready to go. So
I do. It's a very cozy day. I'm not sure where you're located, but the Chardon Polka Band is based in Geauga County, Ohio, and it is currently snowing.
Well, send it my way.
Very, very Christmassy.
Yeah, I'm in Iowa and we have snow out right now, and it just started to snow a little bit just as we started talking. So you're bringing
Wonderful.
Christmas magic already. This is good.
That's what our band does.
It spreads Christmas magic. Well, Jake, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and about your band?
Yeah. So my name is Jake Cowie. I live in Geauga County, Ohio. And 17 years ago now, we started a group called the Chardon High School Polka Band. And at the time, it was just meant to be this high school thing, just a project me and my buddies had. And it really took on a life of its own. It evolved. We're now the Chardon Polka Band. And this has been my full-time job for, I think, the last 10 years now. This is what I've been doing as a full-time job. And as part of that job, we come out with awesome albums. This year, with everything going on in 2020, we said, hey, the world needs at least one more Christmas album. So we put together a very polka Christmas.
We needed that. We needed that album this year for sure.
I love it.
Yeah, it is just full of enthusiasm. You know, we can tell you guys are all having fun. So are you still the band members are still the ones that you had in high school when you all started?
No, I'm the only guy left from high school.
Okay.
And, I kind of started the group. And like I said, it was just supposed to be this high school thing. And I always, for the first, it's been 17 years now. And for the first 6, it was like, well, this is going to be, I'll give it one more year and I'll stop it. I'll wrap it at the end of this year. But then, like I said, it became my career. And now I have full-time guys, in the band with me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, it was just whatever my buddies played music that were free. Oh, Mike plays trumpet. Mike, come hang out, man. We're gonna jam. Oh, Dan plays the electric guitar. Dan, do some shows with us, but now it's like its own thing. All my guys, we all this is what we do for a job.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really fun, unique job. I mean, you brought up the fun of the album, and that's really every day, every project for us. Not that it isn't work, because we put a lot of work into it. Sometimes it's a lot of stress and heartache, but yeah. It's just fun. We love playing music. And fortunately, polka music is at its core, it's just fun music. And so I think that goes hand in hand with the Christmas genre and the Christmas season. I mean, taking any of these Christmas songs and putting them to a polka beat with this very bright polka instrumentation, it just is fun. It's holly jolly.
So yeah, just looking over your the album here, you've got some Christmas classics on there, like Christmas Time Is Here, Angels We Have Heard on High, things like that. But then you give it the old polka twist to it.
So this is actually, I should say, this is our second Christmas album.
Mm-hmm.
We did one back in 2015 called that's this one. We did one in 2015 called Polka Around the Christmas Tree. And since then, all our diehard fans have been like, hey, that album was too little. It wasn't enough. We need another Christmas album. And so we, with everything going on in 2020, we haven't been working this year. Normally we'd play about 200 shows, and we haven't been able to do that this year. So we were kind of looking for a fall project, and the idea came up to do another Christmas album. And me and my drummer, Bob, we went to the studio, and because we were able to stay separate and everything there and give each other space. And the rest of the guys all participated from home. They did their parts at their home studios.
Mm-hmm.
But me and Bob in the studio, we looked at a list of maybe 20 songs, and we tried to select from that list what was kind of unique, what wasn't something that had been done a million times, and it's like, all right, we're not going to do another version of Jingle Bells. I feel like there's some under the radar Christmas songs on there, like Wassail, Wassail all over the town. That's an old caroling favorite of mine, and you just never hear it. I don't think I've ever heard a recorded version. I've just heard it as a choir arrangement, and so we did that one. We Three Kings, while it's a well-known Christmas song, I don't feel like there are that many versions, and I'm 100% sure there aren't any other polka versions of We Three Kings out there.
Pretty sure, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a song. It's got like 5 verses on it, and nobody does the 5 verses because it'll take you 5 minutes, and we're like, well, we have 5 minutes, we'll do it.
Yeah. I like the Wassail song. That seems to really fit the polka sound.
Oh yeah, it lent itself to what we do.
I did hear it before. It was actually it was in a stage play of A Christmas Carol, and it was actually a musical. So they would sing different Christmas carols throughout the play, and that was one of them near the beginning. And no, it was at one of the parties that Scrooge sees. But yeah, they had, the Victorian character singing Wassail, Wassail, only a little more, what's the right word? Restrained than a polka version.
Well, we're a bit zany and off the wall. That song's from the 18th century, I believe. So it fits right in with the Scrooge lore. And right. I mean, it's just, when I think of that song, I think of caroling. That's where I first heard it was literally, I went to a caroling party where they hand out pages of music, and I went, I've never heard this song. And that line, with a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee, that was in my head that whole Christmas season after that party. And I've loved it ever since. And it just reminds me of one of my favorite parts of the holiday season, which is just spreading joy and spreading music. I've had the profound pleasure of caroling, on the street many times, just going door to door, and I always take my accordion with me or my guitar. And it's fun. It's just a fun thing to do. And I felt like we captured a little bit of the spirit of that with that tune.
Yeah. I know others have said it about your album, but I'm just smiling through the whole album. It just brought me joy for sure. So really wonderful album.
Thank you.
Another song I was not familiar with was, and this was kind of a funny song, but it's Andrew the Mailman. Now, is that one of yours, or is that just an old song that I missed?
That would explain why you're not familiar with it. That's one of our tunes, and in a story that's really not interesting, but it is the story of the song. We wrote. We have a friend who is a radio DJ. He does a polka show called Polka Changed My Life Today, and his moniker on the radio is Andrew the Mailman. And we got to know him. He's actually a mailman by day and a radio DJ by night. And so we wrote him this tune probably 6 years ago now. And it wasn't a Christmas tune, but we always sang it at Christmas as kind of a, the mailman brings your letters and all that. So when we went in to do this album, I was literally making notes on the fly and just wrote some new lyrics to this old tune we had done, and put a little bit more Christmas spirit in it. And I get comments on that song all the time. One of my favorite things this season has been, I've gotten a couple messages from people in the Postal Service who are like, we love that song. Thank you for paying homage to the Postal Service during this time of year. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. We just wrote it for our buddy. And it certainly, you never know what's going to take off and get heard by different people.
Yeah, exactly. I think what I noticed, just this year more than ever, the mail carriers really do fulfill an important role in our life. especially at Christmas time. Yeah. So, like you said, a great tribute to the mailman.
Yeah, absolutely. They really do. And we like I said, we didn't really intend the song that way, but
Yeah.
are glad and certainly now kind of sing it as such. We do a little many years we do a little holiday special on YouTube. And when we did the one this year, we feature that song, Andrew the Mailman, and we give a whole bunch of information about the Postal Service and the amazing work they do.
Mm-hmm.
I know this year's pretty tough. In Cleveland, they got trucks backed up for like 15 hours because of some COVID-related business, but getting the trucks into the Postal Service sorting station and everything. So we love those folks, man.
Our mutual friend Todd Killian on the Christmas Clatter podcast, I call him a hero. He's out there delivering Christmas packages to everyone.
Yeah, well, and we take that for granted too. I mean, I right now, especially with the pandemic, where we're not playing in front of audiences, we're doing all of our commerce by mail. With the band, that is. So we have these new albums and we're shipping them all over the country. And every day, the nice lady who does our mail delivery here at my house, she comes up the driveway, gets a big crate of these packages that I'm mailing off. And 2-3 days later, I got customers in California going, "We love the music." So
nice.
Wow. They're the ones helping us spread the holiday cheer. No matter what you do, they're helping you spread it. So
that's right.
That's our tangent on mail carriers.
That's right. Well, stay tuned for more tangents.
Yeah. What will we talk about next?
Well, I actually wanted to go back to your high school experience.
Okay.
Now you said you had started playing in high school and had a little band together. Did you play for high school events at all, or was it just a group of friends?
We did. In fact, fitting in with the Christmas theme today, the first show we ever played was for our high school's Christmas concert. So the show choir sings and the jazz ensemble plays and the whatever choirs and orchestras are there. And they let us kind of like play after the credits, I call it, like they'd kind of wrap the show up and then went, and then here are these guys who formed a polka band and used the band room as a rehearsal space. And we played a couple Christmas carols as people were kind of leaving, the processional music. But we played a number of high school functions and always around the Christmas season with the high school or a group in the high school, we would do some kind of fundraiser or something with some charities that our high school was involved in. But we'd play, if the high school had like a different stuff, like we had a chili cook-off there in the fall. We always played for that. I don't want to say pep rally, but there were like some events of that kind of nature, and I was always looking for somewhere to play, so we'd sneak our way into a lot of different stuff at the high school there.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I took up the accordion when I was 14, right at the end of middle school. And ever since then, one of my main focuses has been, who can I play for? Who can I do this for? And that's why this year has been extremely tough in that regards, because I'm not playing for anybody face to face. It's like a computer screen, which I still love. I still enjoy playing music in any fashion. But for me, it's just so special to perform for people. And that's something I've been about since I was 14 years old, 20 years ago. And I love that connection. I love bringing music to people. And that was the same back then. It was the same when I was in high school. We were always looking for who we were going to play for, which meant we played for a lot of different stuff because we played for high schoolers. But the senior centers around here are always looking for people to play for them, and the nursing homes. So we did these whole circuits where we'd go to every nursing home in the area and play music for them. And I just loved it. And looking back, I'm like, well, shucks, that's how I spent high school. me and my buddies were going around playing music for nursing homes. We were some weird kids. I mean, it's cool. We were good. We were good kids. I wouldn't trade that for the world, but you know, it's funny because your parents want to keep you out of trouble and stuff, and the trouble we were getting into would I know we got in the principal's office once because we all basically cut class to go play music at a nursing home. You know, we like I know a couple times we enlisted our parents to write us notes that we're going to the dentist. You know, the whole polka band all goes to the dentist together. You know, but we got hollered at a number of times because in the beginning we used instruments from the high school. One of our guys had the cops called on him because they went there after hours to get their saxophone and the doors were shut. So two of them, you know, boosted up into the window. I was not there, but I was like, okay, you know, you needed your sax. Yeah.
It wasn't me.
We're just trying to get our polka band instruments, you know.
Right. So. Yeah. Well, did you have any like a teacher or anyone who was really inspiring you in music, or is this just kind of a passion you developed on your own?
Well, my father has always been involved in music or theater and entertaining in some fashion. And I always was attracted to that part of his life. It just always fascinated me. I loved the entertainment element of it. And both my parents, when I was in high school and I was getting into music, were just very encouraging of that and helpful in so many different capacities. Of course, my father, being experienced and stuff, he knew, okay, so you need A, B, and C if you're going to go do a show. You know, you need to have this equipment, you need to have this thought out, and then just the friends I've gotten to work with over the years have really made it a success. Like I said, for the last 10 years, this has been my full-time job, and I wouldn't be able to do that job if it weren't for the other fine members of the band. You're talking to me today, Jake. I'm the front man and all that, but there's 3 other guys who do this full-time. They're amazing, and we all rely on each other every day, every gig, all that stuff. And without their support and that teamwork, you know, we wouldn't be the band we are. It's not, I can't even imagine it. It's crazy. It's fun.
Oh, good. Well, I would hope it was fun.
Yeah.
But no. Well, it's just interesting because this will be on an episode that I also am interviewing a 17-year-old musician who put together his first Christmas album. He pretty much did it in his room on his computer, and it sounds really great. And I mean, he's a good singer and all that. And it's neat how, you know, when you're young and you get captured with that excitement for music and you just let it take you places to create.
I love it. I love creativity. I love art, and getting to just work on my art every day is a true blessing, you know. From when I was 14 till now, it's truly a blessing to be able to do that.
So what are you guys looking forward to doing if and when we can get out of quarantine and see the world again?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, as mentioned, normally we do about 200 live shows in a year. And I look forward to having an audience in front of me again. I look forward to being on stage with our band. Even in making this album, we didn't do it face to face. And that was a challenge, but it was also a lot of fun and very creative. But yeah, I look forward to getting back and playing with my crew on normal terms.
Yeah. And I've talked to some people involved in theater and things on the show, and you know, it's great, as you said too, you know, Zoom can be, it just doesn't beat the live experience, you know.
Yeah. That's really what made me turn music into a career. I was trying to figure out what the heck I was going to do to make money in my life and had a few different interests. And I have no doubt that I would have kept playing music in some capacity, but I was at a live show. I think it was a county fair one year, and I came off the stage and I went, "That's it. That's that over everything I do and I'm involved in that I could try and make a living at. That's the one that makes me happiest. That's the best feeling I get here, and that's where I know I'm being 100% true to myself. Who I am is that guy on stage, you know. It's
Now about Christmas in general. I mean, where do you stand on Christmas? Is it the best holiday ever, or are you a bah humbug?
Oh no, I wouldn't do an album if I was a bah humbug, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't play music if I don't like it and if I don't feel it, you know. I love Christmas. And I guess maybe talking to you as a musician today, it's fitting. One of my main holiday experiences since I was 14 years old has been music, has been, you know, playing the accordion for whoever, you know, nursing home, high schooler, whatever. I just love singing these old Christmas carols. My personal favorites and my are, you know, the kind of like the religious tunes, you know, Joy to the World, Silent Night, Oh Come All Ye Faithful. Those are all my favorites. Caroling, I mentioned caroling earlier in the conversation, but that was always something we did every year, where at least once a year, sometimes 20 times a year, we'd go door to door and sing for people that we didn't know. And I love that. I love that.
I bet you got some surprised looks. They might be expecting just some carolers, but well, we got a band out here.
Right. Well, and that's kind of before, like these past few years have been very successful for the band, which means that I don't get to play a lot of music like on the side in my spare time. We're playing Christmas shows out at venues, so I only get to go caroling like once or twice. But I know like 5 years ago, I'd call up the band members and be like, "Hey, I'm getting a gang together to go caroling. You in?" So we'd have a drummer, a tuba player, a guitar player, all kind. Yeah, you showed up with a full band, and people were just like, "What's going on?" And then I live in a small area, so they, you know, people know us even if I don't know them. You know, hey, that's the Chardon Polka band right there, you know, with an accordion on my doorstep. Yeah. I love it.
Do you have any family traditions or special memories that you like to share with folks?
Of course. I mean, like everybody, you know, your family's got your own things you do at Christmas. And I guess one of my favorite things will always be before they passed away, we'd always go to my grandparents on my father's side on Christmas. And at different stages of my life, that journey looked different, but it was they always lived away. So it was this journey on Christmas Eve, and something about the drive on Christmas Eve. It didn't matter if I was 7 years old, you know, looking out the window for Santa Claus, or, you know, as a teenager, you know, going to see my grandma, or, you know, as an adult on my own, driving to Indiana to meet the rest of the family and see all those people. It's just a special time.
When I was a kid, I lived about 5 hours from my grandparents. And so we would, once we got to Christmas break, we'd pile in the car the next morning and head out to grandma's house. And man, that was exciting.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Isn't that, I mean, there's just something magical about the Christmas journey, the trip, it's the Christmas road trip. It's the journey to see grandmother. Yeah, I mean, I think back on all these years of travel and go, man, sometimes it was smooth sailing. Sometimes it was an ice storm. Sometimes it was magic, you know, and it was just, yeah, it's wonderful to think about and reflect on.
Yeah. And I do know that, I mean, every time I couldn't sleep the night before, I would be too excited. And I think probably even more excited than the night before Christmas. I mean,
wow.
It's like actually getting there. Once we get there, then we can look forward to Christmas. But yeah, they always just made it really special and fun for us. So that is, I think, a memory a lot of us share. Just looking forward to that trip to Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Right.
Yeah, and I think we even went over the river and through the woods. Actually, we followed
yeah, my grandparents lived in Brown County, Indiana, out in the middle of the woods. So it was it was a trek,
yeah,
over the river through the woods.
that's right. Yeah, well, we drive across Illinois, and there's a lot of desolate places out there. So, but
Yeah.
we made it. We made it.
Yeah, one year when I was living on my own, I was on my way to Indiana, and I think I'd been out playing a gig the night before. So at one point I like pulled the car over to a rest stop and slept for a couple hours, and then an ice storm hit, and I was on the phone with my dad, and this was before I had a smartphone, so he was telling me directions over the phone because all the roads shut down, the main roads. So I was on all these back roads in Indiana for hours, got there at like 3 a.m. It was just wonderful. I look back on that and I'm like, what a fun Christmas memory. And at the time it was probably like, you're going to, slide into a ditch and freeze to death. But
those adventures we survive are always the fun ones.
Right. And there's being in a band, you get a lot of those. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We've got kind of my family road trip has been replaced by band road trips across the country. And it seems like we've always gotten, for like the last 6-7 years, we've always got at least one Christmas tour in. Like, we go to Michigan to play a Christmas show, or even a few hours away in Columbus, Ohio. And it's always kind of a magic journey, dangerous because of the snow, but magic. We all, we jam out to Christmas music and all kinds of stuff.
Man, that's got to make it fun.
It is
for sure. Yeah. So do you usually do a lot of traveling to family on Christmas now as an adult, or is it?
Well, I'm married now to my beautiful wife Emily for the last 5 years, and our kind of thought on the whole subject had been, my family is from Indiana originally, and her family's here, so we get to see them more often. So while my grandparents were alive, we always went back to Indiana for Christmas. And once my grandparents passed, we've stayed in Ohio, and my parents come stay with us.
Okay.
And this is our first year. We just had twin boys in last December 27th. So this is their first Christmas.
Nice.
We got 2 little 1-year-olds for Christmas. And I'm looking forward to figuring out, like, okay, in these next years that these kids are growing up, what is our family's Christmas? I have no idea, honestly. I have no idea what that looks like, what that is.
Man, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Twin boys. They're going to keep you moving.
They already do. Yeah, they're crazy.
That's neat though. And it's going to be real fun, especially in a couple of years, once they start realizing what Christmas is and getting excited, and it really just ramps up the joy of Christmas for sure.
I can't wait. And even though they're 1 year old, I'm already trying to like force it on them. Like we took them out. It was 30 degrees the other night. We bundled them up like the kids in the Christmas Story. Can't put their, like, my one kid literally couldn't move. And if he moved his head, it was covered up by a hat. So he had to keep his head forward. And we bundled them up and took them to the town square to look at the Christmas lights. And they're like, what are we doing? It's nighttime. It's freezing out. And we're like, look at the lights. We're holding the kids up just because we want that Christmas experience with them.
Yeah.
We not that they care, but we got a bunch of Christmas story books that we read them. And I don't know if they know that they're different than the story books we were reading them a month ago, but they do like, we got like the decorations up, which we had to kind of alter this year so the kids don't hurt them. But, we'll hold them up and look at the wreath and always play Christmas music. So Yeah, it's wonderful.
Oh, that's awesome. My youngest, the year she was just kind of in the stage of learning to walk, so we had to put the tree up higher and use only about half of it, so she didn't pull it down on herself.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta take some safety precautions now and then. But yeah, well, that's gonna be some fun days ahead for you for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Jake, thanks for stopping by and talking a little bit about your music and Christmas and all that fun stuff.
Hey, thank you, Art. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. And so if folks want to find your music, where can they go to get that?
Well, we are on Spotify and iTunes for all your digital listening enjoyment. Our music and merchandise are for sale on our website, www.chardonpolkaband.com. But I'd most tell people, like, check us out on Facebook and YouTube. Without spending any money, we've got a ton of material available that you can listen to and watch for free. We're always having just a zany time on Facebook with all kinds of stuff, no matter what time of year it is. And our YouTube channel is a lot of fun. We, especially this year with the pandemic and not being able to perform live, we dump a lot of time, effort, and creativity into making videos for folks.
Yeah, I was on there, and I think you actually had full concerts posted. I think I saw a couple on there. So yeah, if folks really want to get a taste of what your shows are like, go and check that out for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Jake, have a Merry Christmas to you and your family. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this year.
You as well. Have a blessed holiday, and thanks for including me.
Yeah, you're welcome. We'll talk to you later. This is likely the last regular episode before Christmas. I do have one very special episode coming up. I say very special about everything, don't I? But we have the super awesome Christmas Podcasters Christmas Extravaganza Christmas episode. Yes, I try to put Christmas in there as much as possible. A couple of podcasters and I got together to bring you some Christmas cheer. I'm going to be interviewing America's favorite mail carrier, Todd Killian, from a Christmas Clatter podcast. My good friend Manny from Feliz Christmas Merry Navidad, thanks to some generous contributions, I was able to send him on location to the North Pole. He's on his way right now, in fact, by dog sled, and we're going to have live broadcasts from the North Pole. Manny's going to tell us what he sees up there, and hopefully, if he can find him, we might even hear a word or two from the big man himself. That's right, Santa Claus. Well, we'll see what he can find out. We're going to have some other fun along the way as well. We're going to have a story read by a special guest. We're going to even have some commercials you won't want to miss, as every Christmas special must have those Christmas commercials. We'll have a few of those. Look for it on December, Santa leaves on the 24th, but with time zones. So yeah, I think it'll drop on December 23rd. So you'll want to be looking out for that. It's going to be an exciting one. And again, that's the super awesome Christmas Podcasters Christmas Extravaganza, starring your favorite Christmas podcasters. If you like to help support the show, you could go to can buy me a coffee. Go to ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com, and look for a Cozy Christmas podcast. I believe it's just /Cozy Christmas, and you'll find it. And if we get enough donations in this year, who knows where we'll send Manny next year. He's up for anything, so I appreciate what he's doing for me. And then once he gets home, we're gonna get a chance to sit down and talk with Manny later on in January in an episode coming up. So in the meantime, be kind to each other and share your stories. And remember that there's nothing in the world so irresistibly contagious as laughter and good humor. Have a very Merry Christmas.